start putting together again. So there's the concept of demonstrated interest. So which means the interest that you demonstrated while before you went during your application. Some schools consider that to be very important, while some consider them to be important, while others consider them to be good. So it's very important you take note when you are showing interest in a school, try to read about the school, make sure you let them know you are interested by visiting their website. And I'm sorry for all this information here. I think when I was trying to copy from one slide to another, and that's why I messed it up. But anyway, you got a point there. So you have to demonstrate interest as a way for the universities to kind of put a gauge on your interests. How genuine is your interest? And then they can consider it as an important factor, especially if your GP is not too high. This is one of the things that can help you out. If you show a lot of interest during the application, the application panel will say, oh, this person has sent email, excuse me, he has contacted professors in this school and things like that. So he should be given the opportunity over somebody who has never visited, who has never made any such attempt. So that's very important. I'm sorry about this. I will do it. I will make sure I correct it in the next step. So just to let you know, you have tons and tons of universities programs here in the US universities. So here is just showing you the admission year of 2019-2020. These are the different international students that they get in the different programs. For engineering has the highest, almost 500,000 people, followed by the health professions, and also followed by humanities. And then you see a lot too in social sciences, physical sciences and life sciences. And then you see some in business and management, as well as agriculture. So this is showing you that a lot of people are coming in, but they have the highest number for engineering. So that's good. And I'm showing you here is just the same data, but I'm trying to compare 2019. I made a mistake here. I should have, when I copied it over to this slide, should have checked all this anyway, but it's still showing the data that I wanted to show to you. So what it's saying here is that in the past year, when I compare it with the previous year to the past, and you see that there was an increase in the agricultural admission number of students in the field of agriculture by 205. Anything green is increase, anything red is reduction. So for engineering, the reduction was also was high, 17,000 people. So I just did this to show you how it looks like, how the admission looks like for both undergraduate and postgraduate. In Africa, you see that Nigeria tops the number of undergraduate and graduate admission. I think when you combine all together, Nigeria still beats all of them combined. So you have the chance when you apply to a good school here of getting something in the US here. So you have a very good chance to do that, to get something. So in terms of the different programs or the levels, here is the bachelor's. You see a lot of bachelor's coming in, and you see a lot of master's students, you see a lot of doctoral students, you see a lot of other professions as well. But a lot of people get very happy with the master or PhD student or PhD scholarship as well. So this is the same year that I showed you. This is the number of students that came in. So that's good to know. Also, when it comes to funding, so because that's what the scholarship means, you getting money to do all that you need to do about your academics without actually paying for it. And it's not like a loan that you have to pay back. No, it's something that is given to you and given to you forever. So okay, so you discover that when the money that is coming from outside, is we have international funding sources. This means money that are coming in from outside of the United States. They are basically from family members for undergraduate programs. So which means most undergraduate programs that we see here are funded by families, parents, uncles, or whatever. So only very few, 8%, 9% or thereabout, funded by the university in form of scholarship. So you see that parents, this family, this thing is really high here. So when it comes to postgraduate studies, this thing is a little it's still similar, but we have more scholarships and financial aids opportunity going to coming from the US universities. So you see from 10% or from less than 10% to almost 37%, right? So that is pretty high, but you still see the bulk of it coming from sponsorships from family and even personal as well. So this is very important. So it's important you know how the money is even generated in the first place. So how do you generate the money? So the money that they use in sponsoring you, how do they make it? For full funding, how do they make it? So you see, there's what we call RFA, which is request for fund. There will be a funding agency, like a government agency, like the National Science Foundation, NSF, we have NIH, and some other funding organizations. They will put out something, an announcement saying that, oh, they have some money for some research, that you should submit some things so that they consider, they check whether you meet, so that they can give you some money to do the research. That's what it means. So that's what the ROFA means. So, and then you need to now develop a project. In fact, right now I'm writing one right now, that by Wednesday we should get it submitted completely. So hopefully everything goes well. So if we were able to submit that, there's going to be some money coming in, and in it, I'm going to write that we need a student to work on something. So we're going to write there that we need a student to work on something, and develop the project and everything. And then in that, I'm going to go to the next item, which is the budget. It's in the budget that I'm able to, explain to the funding agency that, as the principal investigator, I have a student who I can, for me, is around this in a year from the grant. But for the student, it's about $30,000 in a year, and that is enough for your full sponsorship. And if the project runs for 3 years, that means you can get full sponsorship for 3 years to the tune of $30,000 a year. So that's huge. So the research assistant will now assist the PI to collect data. So I need to justify it. If I'm saying I'm going to give him $30,000, so I'm going to justify the reason. I'm going to tell them why. The reason is that it will help collecting data, doing the analysis, and also maybe doing some article writing, like writing a manuscript from that research. So that's how they get the money. So when I develop these, what happens is I submit this to this funding agency, and the funding agency evaluate my proposal, and then they feel that, okay, yeah, this is a proposal that can be funded. Then they send the money. They give the money, then I can invite the student to come over, or any other person can invite the student to come over to start the program. So that's how it works. It's not that maybe the money falls from somewhere. No. Does anybody have a question yet? Any questions?
Hello, sir.
Hello, Mr. Felix.
Yes, sir. Let me maybe I should take you back a little bit. You talked about demonstrated interest.
Yes.
How can one increase his interest? How can one go about this? Like, you want to improve upon your interest in a certain university, how you talked about going to their site. What are the things you need to get about the university so that you can improve your interest in such university?
Yeah, so the problem I had with, let me just go back to that presentation and just remake it so that I will make it right. So I just need to make it right so that come home here, just reduce the font. It's coming together, right? Good, right? Just a minute. Okay, so now we are good to go now. Okay, did you see it now? So one of the things that in their website that will show them that you have interest is, for instance, when you go to their website, let's just do it practically here. So let's go to Troy University. Let's visit their website here from the hub that I have been showing you guys. When we visit their website, you see some of these things here. So this is it here. You say apply or give, visit or give or visit. So it depends on the university. Some of them will say submit a request or something like that. So if I were you, I would submit a request. And if this one says visit, I will just click on visit. You see, know before you go, schedule a tour. So you can't do any of that right now, right? Please can you mute? Okay, so you can't do any of that right now, but here you have request more info. You see that? Did you see that? So when you click on request more info, it takes you to a different page where you now submit your information about yourself. And then you can now add your home address and everything. So which means they already getting to know you, get your information already, even without you applying to them. So when you start the application process, sometimes some of this information, I believe, can be filled into your application page. They already have it. They will just fill it. It's in their web. It's in their database already. They will just fill it into the program. So into your pages. So you put your name. You can opt out to not allow messages or so. Do you reside? You see that? Is your address outside US or Canada? You say yes or no. You have to put your address here. So based on the question answer you see. So now there is a city, state, provinces. So here is a little different now. So you can select the country where you are from. For instance, let's say Antigua and Bermuda, and they put this thing. And then, are you an international student that require F1 or G1 visa? Yes. You see that? That's important information that they're already getting to know about you. And then campus location, which campus do you want to stay in? So you choose. And then the academic level that you want to choose is a graduate level or doctoral level. Okay, and the entry term that you are coming in, what term are you coming? Is it the fall semester or what 2023 or fall semester 2022 or spring semester 2020? You know, just choose a term. For instance, I choose the semester for 2024 fall, and then which academic program are you coming in to do? See that, for instance, I'm interested in, let's say, computer and data science, thesis or non-thesis, whatever. But anyway, you've had this information, campus location, let's say Augusta, Georgia, and then you say, what term again? Okay, when you select a program, for instance, when you select the campus or the program, it now automatically detects, okay, these are the terms that you already have now, that you have. So you have the term, so you can click on this and then you say submit information. When you submit the information, it goes straight to them. And then they already know. So that's one way. The second way is for you to now attend school fair. Sometimes they do what we call a virtual tour. I don't know if there's a virtual tour in this one that we show, group tours, something like a virtual tour, something like that, where you can do the virtual tour the campus. You can make a deal with them sometime to do the tour virtually, where you are from your phone or from your computer, to just see around, show you around how the school looks. That's another one. Another thing is when you have to communicate with the admission office. Tell them that you have submitted request request for information, and that you need more information about this and about that, about this, about that. If then you need to apply, you have to apply. If the decision is made early, that okay, just submit your application, you have to apply early, not that you wait till the last minute. And when you apply, you also go to the social media of that university and start engaging, that become friends to some of the professors that you think might are working in your department and things like that, so that any new information, you will get it. And then another one is connecting with current students or alumni. You can already tell them during your email to them that you've connected with some alumni. They tell you a lot of good things about the school and things like that. Even when you are writing your statement of purpose, you can state that you connected with a few alumni, about 2-3 alumni from the same program, and they said a lot of good things about the program, and that they made your what's it called? I mean, you made up your mind based on the quality information you get from them. Based on the quality information you get from them. So that's it. Mr. Felix, does that help a little?
Yes, sir, it does. It does. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Do you have any further questions? Any specifically?
No.
Okay, so reaching out to them, and another thing is the idea of also reaching out to the professor in that school that may be your potential professor. You can reach out to them and just tell them about your interest, that you've done this already, you've submitted this. So you kind of keep a kind of digital trail on all your contact with the school. That is what the demonstrated interest means. Okay, Apoyemi, please go ahead.
Okay. Hello, sir. Good day, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, sir. My question is, yes, let me first say thank you very much for this opportunity to learn. I've learned quite a few things in the couple of minutes I've been able to join. And my question is, from the post you've been posting recently, I think I spoke with you personally about not having a master's funding or master's scholarship thereabouts. Then, so far there is no master's scholarship and master's funding. So is it advisable for us that are seeking for master's program in the US to keep submitting cold mails to professor, bearing in mind that if there is every probability that if you submit a couple of messages or a couple of mails, let's say 200 and above, there are chances that even 5 might attend. Is it advisable for us to keep sending cold messages to get a master's scholarship?
Yeah, thank you for that. I'm sorry for cutting in just like that. So what I would say, actually said in my personal communication with you, is that I'm not saying that there are no scholarships, is that they don't really advertise them.
Oh, that's true, sir.
You get what I'm saying? So if you see most of them that you have seen, maybe somebody sent it to you, or you saw it on somebody else's post, that, you know, it's not like a general thing like some of the things I've been posting about postdoc and PhD, that is so common to have masters. It's not so common to see masters.
That's correct, sir.
This process works for that. And sometimes, even if you apply for the master's degree in the program, it's already, the full funding will already be included by default. But sometimes they give the full funding to PhD students, but when they don't see a lot of PhD students applying, when they don't see a lot of PhD students applying, they just maybe give the money to some of the undergraduate, some of the master students that apply for the program. So they still get it. But the point is, I remember I was asking one of my professors, how many of your students that have ever gone, in fact, it's not even how many. Now, the program that I'm in right now, we know of a student right now that is coming. In fact, most of the students were just really recommend. So my guy would tell me, my boss would tell me, okay, I'm sending some. I saw some students who came into the program to see what is happening here before they even apply. They came and check what is happening and say, okay, before they submit the application, we should look into the application. We now interview them and things like that. So where I'm going with that is that that is a good way. It's just like the demonstrated interest that we're talking about. They come into the program, they look at, in fact, you see some even undergraduates or even like secondary school leavers, like in Nigeria, secondary school coming to our university to see what is happening in our university. You get what I'm saying? So those are some of the things that you show. But in the case of masters, you need to send that cold email, send as many as you can, because you don't know which one will click. And you don't know how many students like you who are looking for master are also sending the same email. Some of them even have qualifications that are higher than you. So you don't have to only send it to one person and just focus on only that person. Send as many as possible. That gives you a much wider horizon. And also, because you are sending it, you are not just sending it to crop soil and pest management alone. You are not sending it to crop science alone. You are sending it to plant pathology. You are sending it to entomology. So that also gives you a wide range of knowledge of the different fields and of how you can apply your own degree, of what your degree can actually do for you. So this information I'm presenting works for master, for PhD as well, and works for people with OND and HND combined as well. So it's not only limited to BSc holder, it's for everybody in that spectrum who needs a scholarship. Is that done?
Yes, sir, very clear, sir. I have one more question, sir.
Okay, go ahead, please.
The question I ask is that what are the criteria that we can have as a BSc holder pursuing a PhD? Is it advisable to go direct like that? And what are the criteria we can have to go from BSc directly to PhD, sir?
It depends on the program. Sometimes most people go do that based on the experience that they have. In their BSc, maybe they are first-class students and they already have publication research experience from their, they do a lot of research. So we are different. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes you have a professor already training you from 300 level, with all these things, write a good report, know how to cite, know how to do bibliography, know how to submit for publication and things like that. If you already have that and your results are very good, then they can admit you into a PhD directly from BSc. Because PhD is a little more different. A PhD is a lot of responsibility. So it's not something you just go there and then somebody start ordering you around. I know a lot of PhD students that I've met, I've talked to, who are currently in the same program, who have talked to me that they are just left alone. They are just like a loner in an island. There are guys, a lot of other students that they deal with. A lot of projects to write, like a lot of, I mean, like right now, mentoring a student. I'm giving her. She's I'm mentoring her in data analysis and things like that as part of my project. Can you please explain better on the code message? Okay, code message. Okay, code email. So, I will explain that later. So, what happens is that the students need to come to me. I arrange to meet twice in a week. We talk about what the progress. I set the progress. I set the milestone for the week for her, and she goes do everything, post it somewhere where that I can see what she's doing. You get what I'm saying? So that way you'll be able to make that progress. It's different for some. I'm going to show you what you need to know as a graduate student when you come to the US, because they are expected that you already know a lot of things. That's why a lot of people go through master to learn those things before they go to the PhD, because PhD is like you need to be, a professional by the time you are done. So if you just go to the PhD program without any knowledge of anything, then it's going to be a lot of challenges.
That's true. Very clear, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So about the cold email that you said, is cold, C-O-L-D, email. So what is the cold email? Is just the email you send to the professor. This is cold because you don't really have anything in mind. You are not, maybe they didn't ask you to send it. You are just sending it to know whether there's a prospect for you in their lab to admit you, or they have money to admit you into the program. That is the cold email. Okay, are we good?
Yes, sir.
So okay, we are good on all this, as well as on how the money is made, how you make the money. Now, this is the content for today now. We have already spent an hour and we're just doing the content for today. So what is online presence? I'm going to, there, see, if you can take notes, take notes. Don't wait for videos. You feel me? Like I told you, I'm a very busy person. I'm writing a grant that I needed to submit by Wednesday. So this weekend, I'm not going to do anything about any video. So if you are waiting for video for this weekend till Wednesday, it may be difficult. So I would really strongly advise you to maybe take a note, take a pen. If you can, if you have electricity near you, try to draft something down. Those things will really do help you when while you wait for the video, because you don't want to wait for the video for next week before you start acting. I want you to already start acting as soon as we finish, start thinking about what to do. Yeah. So the first one is online presence. How does it affect your scholarship success? So that's my question. How does it affect your scholarship success? One thing is for you to do a self-audit. So the idea is you don't want it to reflect bad on you, that your presence online has been very, it's nothing to write home about. You've been talking about a lot of things, that may not be professional. So you have to do a self-audit of yourself and see how your life online is, and see if there are things that you needed to clean up before you start applying, because they will dig it up, they will send the email to that, they will Google about you, and a lot of all those things may definitely come up. If possible, remove unprofessional content, and also create a professional email address for your scholarship application, not just any, and don't put nicknames like all these nicknames that you have, like Nekoyo, those sort of kind of nickname. No, use your real names. If you possibly use all your names, your surname and your middle name and the rest. So avoid nicknames or professional addresses. So that's one thing. So the idea here is online presence, how to make it work for your good. How do I put it? What to do to avoid it jeopardizing your chances of getting a scholarship. Another one is your social media content. A lot of people argue on social media, talk about things, especially during the Nigerian election. A lot of people say a lot of things. So go over to your social media. If there are things that you need to delete, some of the posts that you need to delete, please do delete them to avoid any problems. So like I said, your social media is a place you can go on your social media, create a professional profile, for instance, on your LinkedIn and also on your Twitter. If you can, create a professional profile that highlights your academic, leadership, and community service and goals too. So like community service in terms of your volunteer work that you have done, you have helped some people do some building, painting free of charge to build the community. You have helped the community fill the roads with sand. All those things are important things that you can add to your CV too. I mean, you can add as part of the community service that things like that. So the second one is if it's possible, you can have a blog, or a website where you can let people know about what you are doing and things like that. Now you can at least go to maybe WordPress. There's a free version of WordPress or Wix or something like that. Some of those websites that are free, that they can help you host your content for free, but just limited in the amount of information that you can put out there. But at least it's something that can keep you going. That website can have your CV already. So when you are submitting your application, you put your website there too, that this is where I've been. For instance, if you are an agric now, you are promoting issues about erosion, soil fertility, and things like that. Some of the research that are going on all over the world, you can write about them. How they are doing this, how they are doing that. That can help you down the line to say, okay, you're already showing very good professionalism in terms of content writing, content creation, and things like that. So that can help you. So the next one is that use good online etiquette. Is it etiquette, not here etiquette. Etiquette, practice good online manners by avoiding inflammatory posts and using proper grammar and punctuation. Sometimes somebody posts something, you won't even know where to start reading it from the post. Is it to turn it upside down to see whether there is some way maybe the person writes something that sometimes it's difficult to read. So make sure you are professional. That's the point there. Professionalism comes first. If you are able to manage your footprint, another thing that I have not added is this. If you are doing some work, data analysis or something like that, that you need people to know about that, you can create what we call a free GitHub account and put all your codes there. Okay, put your codes there in a GitHub account, and you'll be able to do some of those things without too much distance. So let me see if I have an example to give. Okay, let me see. Let me go back to that website. Here, I just post my GitHub here. So So here is an example of what I'm talking about. Please, can you mute? Can you mute, please? Everybody mute, please. Okay, thank you. So here's an example of what I'm talking about. This is one of the websites that I was doing before, some of the data analysis that I was, some of the lectures like this that I was doing on data analysis before. And this is where I host my, this Data Gym Center as a name. So these are my code. These are my code repository. This is the latest one that I did on the 29th of June. That is just almost 1 month ago that I post the codes here, and you can go to the website and just see. If I need to show you this for anybody, I'll say I've conducted a few, because that's a timestamp. A timestamp. This is last month, and it's showing 3 weeks ago. And if you go back to some of the other ones that I've done, for instance, this SaaS Made Easy, I created it 3 years ago. So it already has a timestamp on whatever you have done. And like this workshop again that I did in 2022 was almost more than 1 year ago, last year. So, and if you have these, it's also good if you just put them, because it's already showing you that, okay, you've posted this thing about 3 years ago. That means you have about that much experience in terms of whatever you are planning to apply for. So if you are planning to say I have 3 years of experience in data analysis and things like that, that is a good thing to put at the back of your mind. So to have something like this, if you can open the code, you see, you open the folder, you see that I've written some R code, some Python code, some R codes here that I use for my data analysis. And you can open this mapping code that I did. It shows you the R code free of charge that you can download. You can download and use with your data. I actually added a data to it. So you come here to the main folder, you see a folder for data. So here you can download the data and also use that to run your analysis. So following the examples that I showed, that I provided. So that's what I mean by creating an online presence by my video is getting dimmer. Let me turn it off and turn it back on. Yeah. So that's what I meant by creating an online presence by having a GitHub account where you can tell them what you've been doing. So if you're able to manage your footprint very well, it can help you minimize any liability, you can showcase your strengths and can tell them that you are a very good person, a promising candidate that they can admit into the program. So